Moderation. It is something that I often think about, and kind of something I wanted to talk about, for really no reason in particular, just more so because I think it's just an interesting topic. There's a couple things I'm going to cover throughout this little spiel, so a little disclaimer, just take everything I say with a grain of salt. I don't have a lot of education when it comes to proper terms. I haven't done any research before this video, so if you are more educated than me, congratulations. I'm just more or so talking about it to kind of just get it on other people's minds, because it's a very important thing. Moderation is. It is important. However, it's kind of always on the back burner, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because I really haven't seen anyone else talk about it lately, so why not let it resurface? Now, back to what I was saying, there's a couple things I'm going to be discussing in this video. So I'll kind of brief it like this. The first thing I want to talk about is the difference between unhealthy and healthy. The next is what exactly is moderation and why is it important. And the last thing I want to talk about after that is why should you apply moderation to your life? And that might seem like the kind of same thing as why is it important, but I feel like they're different. It's just why they're going to be two different little parts. So let's begin with what is unhealthy versus healthy? To understand this, we got to understand that there are multiple ways to define those two words. Let's kind of just start with unhealthy. When you think of unhealthy, you think of things that could potentially harm you, right? I mean, you might not think of it in that context, but you more think of things that are just bad for you. You'll think of fat foods or fast food, things that have high cholesterol or lots of sugar, things that just aren't that great for the body. But when you think about it more, there's other ways to define unhealthy. And if we're not looking at a textbook definition, there's other ways that we use it to communicate. For instance, I would say that punching yourself in the leg is probably unhealthy, wouldn't you agree? Because it's bad for you, but that doesn't involve food, and I'm sure a lot of people's minds when you say unhealthy go straight to food. And then there's another way that people use unhealthy, psychologically. If you constantly berate yourself every day, that's probably unhealthy, isn't it? At least that's the way I would think of it. So when you think about that kind of topic when it comes to that, unhealthy seems pretty broad, but you can definitely define it down to just bad. It's just bad, right? Well, yeah, it's bad, but not always bad in that, idea that it's just super not good for you and it's just going to cause pain. It's not always like that, because some people might think of unhealthy as sitting down for 6 hours and playing games. And for somebody like me, or maybe some of my friends, or even a lot of people out there on the internet would say, that's ridiculous, because 6 hours a day, you might work an 8-hour shift at a desk. Is that unhealthy? Possibly, but at least you get paid doing that. With the games, it's a choice. And the choice part actually will come later in the video with why you should use moderation. But anyway, right, back to unhealthy. It is definitely a little bit broad, at least in my opinion. Again, take everything with a grain of salt. What about healthy? What makes something healthy? Well, the first thing that most people think of, again, is probably food. Broccoli is good for me. Vegetables are nice and healthy. Getting a good diet. Balancing it out with meats and veggies and poultry, grains. The food pyramid. Or if you're vegan, maybe just looking at things that aren't, harming animals. Or that's more straight vegan. I think that's more vegetarian, right? I always get the two mixed up. I don't mean to offend anyone, but with healthy, it's something that is good for you, right? So you look at the good and bad spectrum, right? Okay, well, I know that exercising is good for me, so that must be healthy. And I know that drinking water is good for me. And I know that exercising my brain with like puzzles or thinking about things, learning another language, those are all good. Those are all healthy things, right? Yes, they are. They are definitely good for you, by all means. But, and there's always a but here, take everything with moderation. Now, let's talk about what moderation is. What is moderation? How do we define moderation? I would first think of moderation as doing things in a healthy manner. So now that we kind of have an idea of what healthy is, which is good, right? That's the basic definition. Well, it's kind of like a mix. So let's look at moderation in a broader spectrum. Let's go to broad. Obviously, doing things in a healthy manner. That's pretty broad. You know, you think, what do you mean by that? What is a healthy manner of doing things with moderation? Well, then let's zoom back in again. Let's say that you had a rough day at work, right? And you just, stuff hit the fan and you're just not having a good day. Maybe there were some bad customers. Maybe there was somebody harassing you the whole day. Maybe a coworker was just being extra not that great today. Maybe your boss said something really mean and they didn't even notice it, and they kind of made it seem like they didn't say anything mean and you were just being stupid. Maybe you think that no one understands you and it just seems like what you're doing isn't worth it. So you go home in this really negative mindset and you think, wow, I sure don't want to do anything today. I really would rather just not do anything and sit down and relax for most of the day. And you do. And as the day goes by and you're doing literally nothing, you start to relax and suddenly all those negative thoughts start to kind of go away and you kind of forget about how awful life can be sometimes. Is that healthy? I would say yeah. I would say it's healthy to have downtime and not think about things and to just relax for a little bit. Detox, it's not healthy to keep things all bottled in and just really get enraged with everyone. That's not cool. But maybe it's not that healthy. Think about it. If you think about it from a straight up just really pessimistic point of view, you sat there and did nothing for 6 hours. You got nothing done in that time. And you were just sitting on a couch, degrading away, when there's other things to be done. There was things to be cleaned, maybe bills to be paid. Who knows? There could have been other things you did, but instead you sat there and did nothing. The argument there is what is healthy and what's not, right? Well, again, moderation comes into play. You should not overwork yourself, but you also shouldn't underwork yourself. It should be a mix of the both. And that's why I'm going to segue into why moderation is important to you and why you should do it. Now, I know I might have skimmed over everything because this is unscripted, by the way. I'm just kind of trying to remember what I was going to talk about and just kind of more going with what comes to mind. The importance of moderation is like a yin and yang. You have to counterbalance two sides of a coin. Or not two sides of a coin, but you have to counterbalance two of your different energies. You have the bad energy and you have the good energy. You have the work, do the homework, learn this topic, master this, and be better at this. But then you have the relax and just think about nothing or, think about something fun. Do something fun. The joys of life versus the pains in life. Now obviously this is different for others compared to some. Some people might think, education's the great part and the sucky part's work. Some people might think, I don't really like education, but work is a little bit better, so work's the better one. Everybody has different opinions, and some people might just hate both, and that's okay, because a lot of people agree with you. However, you have to understand that there is, again, two sides to everything. You have to have your yin with your yang, the dark energy with the light energy. I might have said that backwards, because yin and yang, I don't remember which one's the white and which one's the black. Either way, though, you have to have a balance. And that's what moderation, in my opinion, is. It's not just to do things in a healthy manner, but it's to do things in a moderately sustained manner. If that makes any sense, I really am proud that I just said that. If it doesn't make sense, that kind of sucks, because I'm trying to, say something nice. But either way, think about it. And if it got you thinking, well, maybe I did something right. Either way, though, just remember that moderation is relatively important. How do you define it? What do you think about it? I know that I think of things that make me happy, but I know that I have to do some things that don't make me happy to achieve those goals.